everybody, Elisa here with another Vera Bradley bag of the day. I thought I would make a video. I wasn't planning on making a video today, but I got an unexpected package, unexpected in the sense that it was earlier than I thought. I didn't expect to get this so soon. I mean, I feel like it was overnight. Yeah, it's overnight actually. Some Vera Bradley stuff, obviously. Of course, it's not Wednesday. It's Friday the 13th. Ooh. But I don't know if it'll actually be Friday the 13th when I finally get this loaded up. But the stuff was so nicely packed, and I did a phone order, and it seems sort of related to what I have been talking about in recent videos about return processes and you know, making phone orders and people's anxiety maybe about doing those things because of, you know, hearing about other people's negative experiences. And so I was so impressed with this shipment that I wanted to get back on to sort of, you know, give credit where credit is due, and when something is done right as well, I feel like let's talk about it. So I was so impressed. So I can't get to a signature store, and this new pattern came out yesterday, the Enchantment. It's like a family of the new patterns. There are a bunch of related patterns, and so I called up what now seems to be my go-to store, signature store, to make phone orders from, which is the one in the Christiana Mall in Delaware. And I also did call the Disney store, which I tend to have good luck at. I mentioned that recently in the video, or that previous video, that the first time I tried to make a phone order at the Disney store didn't go so well, but every time I've done so after that, I've had excellent service. And I've done a number of orders from the Disney store, not just for Disney stuff. So I feel like I could call this an unboxing, which I never think to do, because first of all, most of my stuff is coming in those lame plastic mailing bags. Thin bags. It's not very impressive. But this actually, from the store, came in a irregular cardboard shipping box, but then I opened it and saw this. And I started to open it, and then I said, what am I doing? I should do an unboxing. So I will do that. Let's start from the beginning. I did kind of peek around in here a little bit, but not too much. But I was really shocked to see this. I thought to myself, is this a custom order? Did I place a custom order? Which of course customs unfortunately doesn't exist anymore. I don't know if that's a permanent thing or a temporary thing. I mean, my guess is that we're not making enough money off of it to justify keeping that line, that arm of their business open. I've also heard people say that they heard that it was because during COVID they were having trouble finding skilled sewers. I don't know. I can't confirm any of that, so I don't know. But I am sort of hopeful. I hope one day they bring that back, because that was a lovely part of their business. Really appreciated that part of their business, except when they removed the piping option. And then I stopped ordering tote bags. I sort of migrated over to the Glennas then. Anyway, so when you ordered custom, sometimes your stuff came in boxes like this or comparable to this, and they're good for storage. And so I'm going to try to keep this. I have no space in my closets, but I'm going to try to cram this in with stuff, you know, with storing other bags in it. So I opened it, and then there was the note. She always writes a note. So I don't know if they work on commission, Vera Bradley. I mean, a lot of retail salespeople do. So shout out to Yvonne at the Christiana Mall store if people want good service. It's the second time she's helped me. And when I called this time on Thursday, I said, you know, you helped me before, and so I thought I would try. And I get their emails from that, with that, you know, stamped with that location on them, down at the bottom of the email. And so I said, I thought I would try again because you were so nice to help me. And she said, that's fine, that's great, I'm with a customer, can I call you back? And I said, sure, you know, no rush. And she did. She asked for my phone number, I gave her my phone number, and she called me back, and she was very lovely. And I again thanked her for helping me the previous time, and so I, you know, it just went like swimmingly. And so this is, you know, she sent a little card, and I'm sure the receipt is in here. Yeah, and a little note. Yvonne and Team Christiana. Please call if you need anything else. So they're encouraging that kind of business, the phone orders. So then it came, you know, tissue, and I had broken the seal on the little sticker there. And then I was like, what am I doing? I should get on YouTube. So this is how the customs would come if you ordered something big, you know, if you ordered a Vera Tote or a backpack or something. You know, so for a while they had cosmetic cases you could order, so I'm sure they didn't come in a big box like this. Something smaller equivalent. Inside of the, it's not too sturdy, but it's printed in there, so pretty. So there's stuff in there. So I'm just gonna put it all down here. Take stuff out one by one. So I got something from 3 different patterns. And I want to read the tags so that I make sure I have the names right of the patterns before I misspeak. Okay, this is a tablet, Tamer, organizer, Enchantment. So just Enchantment. This is what I consider sort of the main pattern of the Enchantment ones, because there's also that Perennials, Noir, and sort of the dot, the one with there's 2 of those sort of related patterns. One that's more just the flowers, and one that has some flowers on a background with dots, very small dots. I don't have anything in those to show right now. I mean, I could see getting something in the Perennials Noir, but not the one with the dot background. That I don't care for. So I only have one of these in French paisley, and I was feeling like I don't want it to wear out, and so I was in the market, I felt like, for another one. So I asked her, does she have anything with the horses / unicorns? I think they're probably horses, and I hadn't, and so she went and she looked for me, and this is what she came up with. You know, in talking to her on the phone, when she would, you know, put me on hold briefly to go look for things, I was sitting looking at pictures of the pattern, and I hadn't realized at first glance that the horses have different color manes. I really love this one with the sort of teal and purple line work in the mane and the tail. Really like that one. And you can see they're doing the shadows on the form the way that I talked about recently when I was talking about Tavern on the Green and the Disney Classics on the Green, where they're using color on the underside of the horse to indicate shading, and that gives the shape, form, and dimension. This is a black background. I really am liking, just like I had said with the botanicals pattern, I'm really liking these rich pinks and reds on the black. Really loving that. And this tree here, this teal, sagey teal kind of background color, and the, you know, the blue on top with the pink, the 2 pinks. Really like that color combo. So this whole thing right here is I just love this. And people probably realize this is a takeoff, a jumping off. As a jumping off point, I think Dillard, I know, Dillard's Dillard's exclusive Vera pattern, Fox Forest, was used, as the jumping off point. So the rendering is the same. I'm sorry, I don't have my Fox Forest handy to show. People could, Google it, or if you're looking on eBay or something, you could search it, and you can see items. Items will probably come up in the pattern. Maybe not a lot. Sometimes it is hard to find. But it was set up the exact same way, and they've just added horses. They may have, I don't know if they've added any other elements to it. There are foxes, and there's one here, but there's a pair of foxes, and I have it on other things, and I'll show it. I have something else that shows the pattern, more broadly. So this is kind of a stiff, thing that just opens up and has various pocket, has pocket configurations, and this, you can slide your tablet in here. My tablet doesn't fit in there because I have a case on it. So sometimes I'll just lay the thing in here. I don't have I'm filming. That's when you're getting old. Where's my tablet? Oh, I'm filming with it. My iPad. I'm filming with it. Oh, Lord. Anyway, not crazy about this lining fabric. A little dark for me. And not all of these colors in here are my thing. Not a huge burgundy and tan kind of person, but a little manly. But I do, for overall, I think this pattern is lovely. It has peacocks, which are cut off, but I have them on other things. I will show it. And it has these other small birds, again, cut off on this item, but I have it on other things, and we'll get to that. Very pretty. So in the past, she has sent me photos, but she didn't this time. She didn't bring it up, and I didn't bring it up because she was describing things to me, and I felt it was good enough for me. Her descriptions were good enough for me. So let me show the other, before I go any further, let me show the big thing that I have so people can get a better sense of the pattern. And this, I haven't opened this yet. Use self-restraint. It's unusual for me. This is the Grand Tote. I didn't compare it to the other Grand Totes that I have just because they're back there packed in a tub, and it's just a pain in the ass to get them out. I'm getting the feeling from the picture on the website the dimensions may be slightly different, like maybe it's not quite as big east-west, but I'm not sure about that. I'm really not sure about that. And it still seems flat anyway, it still seems pretty big. I find these very handy for storing other bags and also for car travel. I'm lugging a lot of stuff. I was saying in my factory outlet haul video, my last factory outlet haul video, I use them when I go to the store and I'm making returns. I'll throw my return stuff in here. So you get a better sense of the overall kind of composition of the pattern. You can see the foxes there. There's that tree again, love that tree. The horses, another horse. Here are the two, those are birds there. These are the peacocks. Here they are, A pair of peacocks. I feel like I might have them on something else too, so I can show them again. Really just liking the palette here, with the exception, I would say, of the combo of this, tan, pumpkin kind of color with the maroon. That's the thing that gives me a little pause, that color. Not crazy about it. Reminds me of the background in French hens, which I was saying is a color I don't like from the cadmium yellows family. cadmium orange a little bit too. But otherwise, just I've always liked this pattern. It's sort of almost batik kind of look to it. And the foxes, I think, are a different color. Things are different colors in the other pattern, the original. And so this tote has no base, none whatsoever. So this, you know, you can, after you're done with it, you can really fold it up and squish it in a bag or something. Inside, I notice now the interior, there's a lining rather than the lining being a quilt, the quilted inner wall. That's different from the previous versions of this tote as far as the previous versions I have. I don't know if this is the first version they've done like this with kind of a loose, you know, a lining that isn't quilted. And it has a zipper pocket. I feel like, I'm not sure on the website if it said slip or zipper pocket, but it's a zipper pocket, so that's nice. Because there's nothing else in here and there's no closure up top. There's no magnet even, and there's no zipper. And, sorry, my light's a little. And this loop here, I think, is so you can hook keys to it. You can hook stuff to that. I think that's what that is for. And not crazy about the lining too much, but it's, you know, flowers. It's an interesting, you know, graphic way to represent the stems and the leaves in this sort of symmetrical mirror pairing. But dark, feels a little dark, but good for fall and winter. It has that kind of a fall feel, like foxwood. I feel like this would coordinate probably real nice with foxwood, if you're carrying this and your foxwood tote as well. I could see myself doing that. I have to break out my foxwood, and I have to break out my spooky cats, which I almost did yesterday, but I was running late to go somewhere, and I thought, okay, I can't deal with this right now. So I didn't break out the spooky cats, but and a dog, so Halloween. But I have to do that. And then I knew when I saw this pattern, what I really wanted in it was a Glenna. I just had a feeling I wanted a Glenna with, you know, this whole kind of configuration on there, so, you know, so relatively good, you know, on the side of the bag. That would be the front for me, because I carry on my left. And I was telling her this. I told her exactly that's what I was looking for. And she did it. I mean, she managed, they had it in, she had a couple of Glennas. She had more than one. And she had pulled one off of the shelf as I was talking and describing what I was hoping to get here. And she said, you know, I think the one that we have out on the display is better. Let me go look. And so she exchanged the one from the display for the one she had pulled from the shelf, and she put that one out, and she got, this is the display one she took down for me. But this is exactly what I wanted. I asked her, can I get the horses and the foxes together? That's what I wanted. Especially because, again, I love these arcing, you know, branches of leaves there. Love that, with the red, the pinks. Again, let me reiterate, black background, black background. It's just slightly off center, but that's fine. In a way, that's almost kind of nice because it makes it look not too preciously perfect, you know. And on the back, sort of different cropping. So you're not losing the foxes, but you're getting the peacocks. And those other birds there. So I have uncinched this. It was not very cinched, it was a little cinched. But I don't cinch my Glennas. I tend to move this adjustable tab thing out kind of far. And then I just like to train the, hold on, the adjustable, you know, cinch ties or whatever to lie, the ends of them to lie flat. And eventually they do over time. You know, sort of train these to go down, to lie down, and eventually they do. But I like to get the bag as wide as possible and have it be like a real U shape rather than a, you know, cinched in. Because I feel like I'm losing space in the bag when that happens. And I kind of like this soft U shape of it. This I can measure for people because I know, you know, they've sort of been playing with the shape, the sizes of the Glenna since they've moved to recycled cotton. This is also a nice end of the bag there with the peacocks as the back. That would be the back for me, though, unfortunately. That's the front, and I do love that tree. That's my favorite tree, so that's good. And a sprig of the red that I like so much, the red leaves. I love it when they do leaves in colors other than green that I like. That's key. I like the color. The Glenna, for people who don't know, has a zipper pocket on one wall and 3 smaller slip pockets on the other opposite side. Not quilted. This lining is not quilted. So yeah, this feels like a decent size. And you know, I don't mind the Glenna if I've got to have recycled cotton. I don't mind the Glenna in it. I feel like it holds its shape well. It doesn't suffer so much from a lack of piping. The size is okay for me. I don't know if they've changed the size a little bit, downsized it. I'm not sure, but the size is okay for me. And what I really do like is that they removed the pleather. I hated the pleather on the Glenna. I really did, on the straps. Hated that. So I was happy to see that go. It's 11 from top to bottom. And then when it lies flat like this, from side to side, is 15. But, you know, when you fill it out this way and it gets some, you know, thickness to it, I'm sure that's going to change. That won't be 15 anymore, right? It won't. Or like 13. So, you know, I like to stuff my Glennas kind of full. So they have that kind of round shape, pudgy shape. I like that. Strap drop is 10. And I've got my whole box thing set up here, so for me to get back to stand far enough away to see it on, I can't do it right now, but I will. I'm going to be getting to my list of request videos, and one of those was to see the Glenna in Bloom Boom, and I pulled it out of storage. I have it, and I'm going to do that video. So I'll do it in that video. I'll show how the Glenna looks on. And I have other videos that I probably showed it in. I don't remember whether they were, you know, it was the recycle Glenna or, you know, the original, the signature Glenna. But I have various Glenna videos. So very pleased with that. I just didn't want to, you know, waste my time and effort, you know, ordering from the website and being disappointed and over and over again. You know, it's always a crapshoot. And then this item didn't come in a plastic bag because they had it out, I think, on the floor. So, although the Glenna, well, she probably exchanged the bag for the Glenna she had pulled off the shelf. So this is a mini Trapeze Cosmetic in Enchanting Dream. And the French for that is Rêve Enchanteur. And I had said to her I would like a unicorn. You would like unicorns on this. And I said, I said, I realized there are unicorns in this pattern. I need the unicorns on this thing. Do you have anything with unicorns? 2 of them together would be great. She said, ooh, I can't believe we do. We have that. And I said, are the tails cut off? I wonder if they both fit. She said, no, they fit perfectly. And this version of the pattern, this companion pattern, has, well, these look, again, I was talking about quails versus partridges in my factory outlet store video, and so you can see what I'm talking about here. I think these are quails. Quails tend to have that plume on the top of their heads, and like I was saying, there is a crested partridge, or that crest does look a little different. So these do look like quails to me, and these sprays of leaves here outlined in this sort of sagey teal kind of color. Beautiful. And the unicorns with the blue manes, love that. There's even some blue to, you know, show the spiral of the horn there. And that rabbit looks like the rabbit from Foxwood. So it was kind of cute that they worked that in there. Goes well. More birds on and foxes and the peacocks on the back. I mean, it's just perfect, really perfect. A little peacock head even in the edging there. I don't know if you can hear Pixie snoring. Just sitting behind me. We got up early today because we had to sit in the car for the parking. I was just too tired to try to do a video, and then I got out of the car and I got back into the building, and Frank was like, "You got packages?" Frank is the doorman. He's the best doorman in the world. All the doormen in this building are excellent, very lovely men. There's a little heart shape there in between the peacocks. So again, the same palette as the main pattern, black background. Same lining. There's plastic in a portion of this interior. I do think that the lining's a little dark. Like I was saying with the winter forest pattern from the outlet, and I really was sorry there wasn't a red lining in there. I kind of feel that way about these, because these are going to carry into winter and the holiday season, if that's your holiday. And I think red is always, you know, kind of happy and bright. And then this is another pattern that's in the release, and they've done a number of items in it. I think there's a Franny in it. I'm not sure what else. There's a tote. There's a Vera tote, and I think maybe a small Vera tote with trim. And this is called Enchanting Flowers. Fleurs Enchanteuses. Trapeze Cosmetic. So this is the bigger one, so that's kind of nice. I have them both here so you can see the size difference. And this trim, you know, has the unicorn. So I said, but it has other creatures in it. And so I said, do you have one? I asked her if she had one with a unicorn. I wanted a unicorn. I would have liked a unicorn on one side and something else on the other side, but I got a lot of symmetry here, you know, which is odd, the Vera Bradleys. When they pay attention to pattern placement, it's frustrating because it's like, I'm never satisfied. They never are paying attention to pattern placement in the way that I want them to be for whatever item it is. Anyway, there's the unicorn in this trim. There's also, and I should mention, what's nice also they did is that when they knew they were going to be using the trim vertically, they redesigned it so that the critters can run right side up, not on their sides. And when it's used on the top of the Vera, it's used horizontally, they're reconfigured so the animals are still right side up, you know, in the trim. So like they didn't just slap the Vera tote trim on this and then the unicorn would have been on its side, you know. So that's nice that they made that extra effort. You can see the little fox feet at the top there of this band of trim. Here on the towards the bottom is like a little chipmunk looking thing, and the quail, the chipmunk for sure. I'm not sure about the quail. It might be in Foxwood or the interior, Foxwood Menagerie. I'm not sure. The lining of Foxwood. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on any of that. But I do think there is a bird in the lining on Foxwood, at least. I don't know. I don't think it's on the exterior. But there is a chipmunk on the exterior of Foxwood. And so I think that's what's going on there. Another lift from the Foxwood pattern. That quail is real nicely done. And it's sort of an opportunity. I'm sorry, I don't have the other bag with me, at hand. I already squeezed it into one of my tubs of Vera. Maybe, I do have one other thing on order coming. I have a Vera tote coming from the Disney store. And so, when that comes, maybe I'll jump on again and show this again, or show the quail again in comparison to the bird on the Winter Forest pattern, just because it sort of speaks to what I was saying about the difference in the treatment of things in the signature line versus the factory line, and how that creates a sort of a visual difference and a different aesthetic. Not one is bad and the other is good, just different. And this is a nice red. I feel like on the website I found this red completely unappealing. It just looked dull and dead to me. But in person it's a little bit perkier. But this pattern background is very traditional, right? This is sort of harking back to the more vintage Vera styles, real early vintage, where they have a small repetitive pattern on the body of the bag, and the real standout element is the trim. And so that's kind of what's going on with this release now. And so that's a nice throwback. That's a nice nod to their past, a little bit revamped. And I'm sure we're hearing everyone wanted unicorns, Vera. We need more unicorns because of Tavern on the Green. And so it's nice that they're listening. I do like this. This is again related to the lining. I don't know if it's any easier on any of the things to show. So you've got it here, that kind of symmetrical spray, right? Like mirror images of each other. And the pattern here is configured the same way, just colored in differently. And this is a piece of fabric, the pull tie rather than ribbons, again sort of harking back to the vintage. Got a tiny little bit of a fox on the fabric there. What are the odds? Not bad, apparently. So those flowers again are in the trim, so everything is related as a theme, variations on a theme. So that was it. What should I hold up for my last shot? My parting shot. My unboxing. Very pleased to not expecting it to come packed like that. So really appreciate that, and I shout out to Yvonne in the Christiana Mall, Delaware Mall, and I highly recommend if anyone wants to make a phone order, calling, and you could ask for her, or my guess would be they're all great there, that she's reflective of what's going on in the store, but they were nothing but, she was nothing but nice to me. And I did call, like I said, I did call the Disney store and for the Vera tote, and because I figured they would have a bigger inventory because it's a big store. And she helped me. She didn't seem quite as happy to do it, but she may have just been having a bad day. I may have caught her at a bad time, but she said, yes, I will go. I said, I just want one thing, and here's what I'm hoping to get as far as where certain things are. And she said, yes, I will go look. And she looked, and she She didn't sound too like she had met my desire completely, but she was tried, and she said, I don't know, I don't know if it's exactly what you want. And I said, well, she didn't send me a picture, and I didn't ask. I said, yeah, I'll try it. Send it to me. It sounded like it was probably good enough. And then I tried to use an ambassador code. Oh, that reminds me. So at the Christiana Mall, they did let me use an ambassador code. I asked. I said, when I'm ordering online, I'm able to use an ambassador code. Is that something I could do with you on the phone? And she said, sure, and it worked. She said sometimes they get codes and they don't work, but they have she had a code that she knew worked if mine didn't work. I think that's what she said. I can't remember if that's what she said. And it worked. My code worked. And then I tried to use it at the Disney store, and it didn't work. And I didn't really ask her about it. I didn't question it. I didn't say, but it worked at the other store. I just feel like I don't want to make too many waves, and so I wasn't going to push it. And then she said, but I'll honor that 10% discount. So she gave me a 10% discount. So I think it was good customer service with the phone orders. I don't know how consistently that happens, but I lucked out. I feel like I had a good experience. So I do recommend this pattern. I think it's very nice. It's very rich fall colors, good for fall and winter. I think it's very well done. I really do like it. Love the horses. Yeah. Anyway, I hope people found that helpful. I thought that was another reason I wanted to get on real quick, was just because this stuff just came out and people may be wanting to get a real life look at it when they're figuring out if they want to order something or not. So hopefully people found that helpful, and thanks so much for watching, and hopefully see you next time on Vera Bradley Bag of the Day.